No, not another penny for this murderous organization
to
move forward. And what we have seen is that Americans are asking the question, why can't I afford health care? This president says he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. There's no peace in America right now. No peace. Don't we deserve to have peace in our country? And we can do that if my Republican colleagues stand up and say no more. No more.
Bomb boats, fund wars, and bully his way to a peace.
Everybody, this is Dean F. Dean Fraser. Here for your creature. What? And today, I wanted to do another reaction video. This one's going to be to Senator Angela Alsobrook on ICE. They are killing Americans with our tax dollars, straight to the point. ICE is on thin ice. As far as being a black American, I'm along with a lot of what I heard from other black Americans. Like, this is not something that is new or that is easy to take as new. Systemic issues are prevalent, very much influential in ICE, and henceforth why we need to abolish it. Come on, get it together. Barbarians, get a club. And I appreciate my strong black Democrat sisters out here speaking to speak, talking to talk, where they don't really have to. I've been screaming from the rooftops, championing our advocacy and the legacy of black women.
Joining us now, Democratic Senator Angela Alsobrook of Maryland. She's also a former prosecutor and says she's voting no on the DHS funding bill. Good to have you on the show. Do you want to get to your legal expertise on some of these issues in just a moment? But first, voting no on this bill. What does it do necessarily? Doesn't DHS, isn't it awash in cash for quite some time right now?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It is the case that these Republicans have already superfunded DHS at a tune of $75 billion. And what we know now is that our country is not only in a moral crisis, but we have a double crisis going. There is an affordability crisis that is happening, but we're also seeing a horrific accountability crisis that is happening at the same time. So no, not another penny for this murderous organization to move forward. And what we have seen is that Americans are asking the question, why can't I afford health care? And if you're wondering that, we only have to turn on the television now to see how our dollars have been misappropriated to fund this organization that is ill-trained and that is terrorizing and killing Americans on American streets. It's horrific what we've seen. And so not another penny, but you're right, we should level set. $75 billion already has been appropriated and has been passed by these Republicans in that big, beautiful bill. And so, but why should we put another penny toward this organization?
Okay, and the effort not to fund it in the future is one, but what are other options that those who might be very concerned about what is happening here, are there any other legal or options that Congress can take to demand accountability from the top down on these ICE operations, which I know were focused on the two killings of American citizens that even some reports have, and autopsy reports have led to conclusions that these killings were at the hands of ICE and at the blame of ICE.
But you know what?
Still a lot more to learn because we don't have state investigations into them.
Well, you know what? We don't have a state investigation yet, but we have our eyes. All of us watched clearly this man, Alex Preddy, who was executed on the street in our country. We watched also Nicole Good. And you're asking, what can we do? It's so simple. The Republicans who empowered these people, the ones who voted for Kristi Noem and voted for this kind of leadership, have an obligation to our country to stand up now and to hold them accountable. It's a very simple thing. It is not complicated, but these Republicans owe it to the American people right now to speak out, to hold this administration accountable for the killing of Americans on American streets. And it is not a complicated thing, and it ought to be happening as we speak. The accountability crisis is going to send our country continuing on this downward spiral. You know what? This president says he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. There's no peace in America right now. No peace. Don't we deserve to have peace in our country? And we can do that if my Republican colleagues stand up and say no more. No more.
Bomb boats, fund wars, and bully his way to a peace.
Good morning. One of the stories of the Trump years has been what Republicans say in public about Donald Trump versus what they say in private. And I'm curious, talking to some of your Republican colleagues, we've seen a small handful in the last couple of days, Senator Murkowski, Senator Tillis, who is retiring, speaking out and saying Kristi Noem should resign, which you've been calling for here as well.
Yes.
But is there a sense, even if it's just in your private conversations among Republicans, that this is not what their constituents voted for? Even as the Wall Street Journal writes this morning, Mr. President, take the victory that the border is secure and walk away from these scenes that we're seeing in the streets. Are you hearing any of that from your colleagues?
Well, I don't know that I am, but I can tell you that any conscientious person watching this unfold knows that it's untenable and that it cannot last. Furthermore, what we're seeing is the standards the DHS has for these officers. Every law enforcement officer in America should be horrified, and I believe that they are. They don't even have the basic standards that we require of law enforcement. That we should wear body cameras, that we should also have judicial warrants, that you should at the very least take the mask off your face and be identified. These are very basic principles that all law enforcement have to abide by, but we have somehow allowed these goons to run across our country, these masked men who are killing people in broad daylight, and they are not required to even operate by basic standards. So we need to abolish the whole thing, really, until we get some standards in place. But it's very easy for my colleagues to say that, you know what, the American people, because we know they don't agree with this. This is not what anyone requested, that we have a country that we can't afford to live in, and now we have people who are unaccountable.
Completely unaccountable.
Democratic Senator Angela Alsobrook of Maryland, thank you very much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you.
I don't like the question. Sometimes it's just, you gotta like answer the question, but I can't. Some people want me today on Shut the Anyways, hope you have a nice day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.